22 to 5, Jazz Radio 94.1 FM. And in the studio, I have a very special guest, Adam Connelly. Adam is one of our great Australian saxophonists. He's just released a CD called Night and Day. Adam, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon.
Well, Adam, how did you get started as a saxophonist?
It was pretty simple, really, John. I always wanted to play music, and I got to high school, and I came home from school one day, said, "Mum, I want to play music." She said, "What are you going to play?" I said, "I want to play the bass or the drums." And she said, "Sorry, you can't play the drums in this house, too loud." My brother said, "Why do you want to play the bass?" He said, "I already play guitar. Why don't you play something different?" I said, "Like what?" He said, "Like the saxophone." So I went to school the next day and I said to the bandmaster, "I want to play the saxophone." And he gave me a clarinet.
Well, is it a difficult instrument to play, to learn to play?
I'm often asked, what's the easiest instrument to play, or how hard is the saxophone? I think each instrument has its own trials, and saxophone can be a difficult instrument to play. It's a simple instrument to get a sound on, but to be a saxophone performer, I think it takes as much hard work as to be a performer on any instrument. You've got to know the tunes, you've got to know what the bass player and the drummer and the guitarist are doing, and then you've got to be able to make up things on top.
Yeah, and there's often a lot of individuality about what makes a great saxophonist, and you can hear some people that just get the instrument and it just sings, doesn't it? What are the qualities that make a great saxophonist?
I suppose you have to start with tone. If you look at any of the great players, they all have this instantly recognisable tone about them. If you think about Sonny Rollins or John Coltrane or Dexter Gordon, even Sandy Evans, the Australian tenor player, when you hear those guys, you know exactly who it is from the first or second note. And so horn players spend a lot of our time playing long notes in the corner to ourselves. After tone, it becomes probably note selection, phrasing, and that comes down to who you study.
Well, speaking of studying, you've been teaching saxophone, and you've also put some videos up on YouTube, which is a great venue to help people learn musical instruments. How have you gone about that?
Yeah, thanks. That started very simply with just as a response to some of my students saying, "Look, I didn't quite catch that." One bloke said to me, "Look, I kind of almost need everything recorded." And I said, "Well, how about I just make a short YouTube video for you?" And I put together 10 licks, or musical motifs, musical ideas, and I called it Survive the Blues because this guy just wanted to play the blues. And I did that, and I put it up on YouTube, and 25,000 people have gone and looked at that video. That's a pretty encouraging response.
Yeah, well, the more you put up, the more recognition you get. It's a great way to get recognition. They say when they go viral, that's when you've really made it on YouTube. How do they find you on YouTube?
People type in a search, and those words, it's like what's the word? Is the Boolean, isn't it? The Boolean search engine, just like a library catalogue. And so you've just got to make sure that what you are putting up onto YouTube in your description has those words that people are most likely to look for.
Right. Well, what about some of the venues you've performed at around over the years? Obviously the Brisbane Jazz Club and some others.
Yeah, that's right. We launched the CD that you have here at the Brisbane Jazz Club in 2010. Most recently I played the Sofitel here at Broadbeach on the Gold Coast on New Year's Eve with my trio. That was great fun. And played Sofitel again for Melbourne Cup this year. And I do a whole bunch of freelance saxophone work as well. A lot of the time the saxophone is kind of the cream on the cake, and you get the call at the last minute saying, "Can you come and play at Twin Waters?" And I drove past Royal Pines on my way here today. We've done a lot of gigs there.
Do you find you're just playing jazz, or do you drift into other genres?
Depending on the size of the ensemble and the ability of the hat that they give me, I'll play just about anything. I've done a lot of work with a Latin band that I sit in with now and again. They're called Havana. We've played functions, all over the East Coast, and a lot of the time, as a jazz player, when it comes to going out and going to work, I find myself as a saxophone player playing just anything that I'm asked to, which can be on New Year's Eve, Auld Lang Syne, and you know, the chicken dance, which for a long time I was too cool to play. But then I saw people doing the chicken dance one year, and I thought, if they're not too cool to dance that, I'm not too cool to play it, so I play the chicken dance.
Well, as long as you're getting paid anyway.
That's right.
Now, your new CD's called Night and Day, and 7 great tracks. How did you select the tracks for the CD?
That was pretty interesting, that one. The quartet has got Bruce Woodward on guitar and Andrew Shaw on bass, and we've done countless gigs together, the three of us as a trio, and Paul Hudson joined us on this session, and we just decided that we'd treat it like any other gig, and we just turned up and started calling tunes, and they were tunes that I would suggest and the band might yay or nay. So there were 7 tracks recorded that day for this disc, and I'm pleased to say that out of the 7 there's only 1 track on that disc which is a second take, and we did everything in 1 take.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, there's some great tracks on there, like Autumn Leaves, There's No Greater Love, Night and Day, Love a Man, and I've got a track from the CD which we'll play in just a moment. But Adam, it's been great to talk to you this afternoon. Thanks for coming in, but next time we'd love you to bring your sax in and you can actually give us a live performance.
I'll play the chicken dance for you, shall I?
No, not the chicken dance. No.
Oh, look, I will next time, yeah.
Yeah, you're most welcome to come in and play a track from your new CD. Well, thanks again, and wish you every success with that CD, Night and Day, and here's a track from it right now.
Thanks, John.